Okay, let's talk about the future of our cities. What if the buildings all around us weren't just places to live and work, but were actually part of the solution to climate change? It sounds kind of futuristic, but in Delhi, there's a building revolution happening right now. And it's all thanks to a new set of rules that are literally reinventing the city from the ground up. So let's dive in and see how they're doing it.
No, seriously, just think about that for a second. What if the concrete, the bricks, the steel, the very stuff that makes up our homes and offices, what if it wasn't just there? What if it actively helped heal the planet? I know it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but this is the real idea, the core concept behind a whole new way of thinking about building. So to really get why this change is so important, we gotta face a pretty tough truth. For decades, the way we've built our cities has come with a massive environmental price tag. It's time for a major, major rethink. I mean, just think about it, right? Traditional construction uses up a ton of energy. It creates literal mountains of waste. And the buildings themselves, often super inefficient. They pollute our air, and, in places like Delhi, they're not always as safe as they really should be. So yeah, it's pretty clear we need a better way to build. And guess what? That better way is finally here. Starting in 2026, the Delhi Development Authority, you'll hear them called the DDA, is rolling out 4 simple but powerful golden rules. Think of it like a new quality checklist that every single building material is gonna have to pass. Okay, so here they are. And what's so cool about this is just how simple and powerful this framework is. First up, embodied energy. Basically, how much energy did it take to make this thing and get it here? Second, thermal performance. How good is it at handling heat? Super important. Third, structural durability. Is it strong? Is it safe? Especially in an earthquake zone? And finally, number 4, circular potential. When this building's life is over, can we reuse its parts? Every single material is now going to get a grade on this new report card. No exceptions. All right, let's zoom in on that second rule for a second, the thermal one. You're going to hear this term thrown around, U value. Now, don't let the technical names scare you. Just think of it like a golf score for your walls. The lower the number, the better it is. A low U value means the material is an awesome insulator. It keeps the crazy heat out in the summer and the warmth in during the winter. And what does that mean for you? Well, it directly translates to lower energy bills. Simple as that. So, okay, we have this new report card. What does that actually mean when the hammer hits the nail? Well, it means some of the building materials we see every day are about to get a serious upgrade, and some really exciting new players are about to step onto the scene. Let's start with a big one, the humble brick, the traditional red clay brick. I mean, it's been a staple for centuries, right? Well, it's getting phased out in favor of something called autoclaved aerated concrete, or what you'll probably hear people call them, AAC blocks. And this just shows you exactly why this is happening. First off, AAC blocks have amazing thermal insulation. Hey, remember that low U value we just talked about? This is it in action. That means less air conditioning, which saves you money. On top of that, they're way lighter, which takes a lot of stress off the building's structure, making it safer. And get this, the best part? They're often made from fly ash, which is an industrial waste product. So you're turning waste into a superior building material. It's a total win-win-win. All right, next up, the glue that holds everything together, cement. Now, standard cement has a massive carbon footprint. It's a huge contributor to emissions. But this new green cement, which uses stuff like calcinated clay or slag, it cuts CO2 emissions by up to 60%. I mean, that is a staggering number. It's a huge hit against climate change, right at the source. And this revolution in materials, it goes all the way down to the paint on your walls. A lot of common paints release these things called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. They can be pretty nasty to breathe in. So the new standards are pushing for bio-based, VOC-free finishes. And this is so important because it isn't just about the environment outside, it's about creating healthier, cleaner air for you and your family inside your home. Okay, so we've seen these one-for-one swaps, but beyond that, these new rules are opening the door for some truly futuristic super materials. And honestly, this is where things get really exciting. Just take a look at this. It's called biochar concrete, and what it is incredible. Scientists have figured out how to take organic waste, process it into a charcoal-like substance, and then mix it right into concrete. And the results? The concrete itself actively pulls carbon dioxide out of the air and just locks it away, permanently. Yeah, just let that sink in for a moment. We are talking about a building material that can actually have a negative carbon footprint. So instead of your building being a source of emissions, it could literally become a carbon sink, cleaning the air around it. This is an absolute game changer. There's no other way to put it. Okay, but what about that fourth golden rule we talked about? Circular potential. For decades, when a building got torn down, where did all that rubble go? Straight to a landfill, mostly. But what if all that waste, what if it could actually become a resource? Well, that is exactly what's happening now in Delhi. All that old concrete and demolition waste is being crushed up and processed into something called recycled concrete aggregates. And then it's used to build new roads, new footpaths, all sorts of things. The city is literally recycling itself. How cool is that? And listen, this isn't just a nice idea or a suggestion, it's a mandate. The new rules actually require that at least 15 to 20% of this kind of work must use these recycled materials. And what that does is it creates a real functioning market for what used to be considered just waste. And the innovation, it just doesn't stop there. We're even seeing these incredible high-tech versions of ancient materials. I mean, take bamboo. By treating and laminating it, we can create engineered bamboo that is strong enough for structural use. We're talking massive strength with a teeny tiny environmental footprint. But, it's not just about the finished building. A truly sustainable city has to think about the whole process, right? What about all the dust and pollution that gets kicked up during construction? Well, you guessed it, the new rules cover that too. It's actually called the anti-smog mandate. Construction sites now have to use special gear like anti-smog guns and dust suppressants. And you'll start seeing these huge piles of sand and gravel covered up with green screens to stop all that dust from blowing into the air. It's a totally holistic approach, making sure the city stays clean even while it's growing. So let's step back. When you put all of these pieces together, the 4 golden rules, all these amazing new materials, the smarter on-site practices, what do you really get? You get a blueprint for the city of tomorrow. Because at the end of the day, this is so much bigger than just a few new building codes. It's really about creating cities with cleaner air, buildings that are safer, and homes that actually cost less for people to run. It's a vision where, finally, urban growth and environmental health can actually go hand in hand. And that really leaves us with one last powerful thought to chew on. This simple brick. It's one of the oldest, most basic building blocks of human civilization. If we can fundamentally transform something so basic for the better, it just makes you wonder, right? What else in our world is just waiting for its own reinvention?